I think so. Can everyone in the back hear me? No? 5x5? Excellent. Okay. So I was told this was going to be a panel, and I thought it was actually going to be a moderated panel. I would be sitting down, people would be asking questions, and then I find out I'm supposed to be giving a speech. So, in the immortal words of Bill O'Reilly, F it, we'll do it live. I have a few points that I want to make, and then I'm going to hand it over to some questions. So 2 weeks ago, give or take, I had an interesting interaction with a transgender woman. I'm also transgender. I know that's a huge surprise for you. And she rather abruptly, not just unfriended me, but blocked me on Facebook simply because I expressed a pro-gun position. And her reasoning was she didn't think I should be supporting an industry that is responsible for the death of transgender people. And so I had progressed beyond the pale. I was a non-person, and I was excised from her life. Almost a day later, I mean, it wasn't more than 2. I was unfriended, and either he blocked me or he shut down his account. I don't know. Someone who is an active member of the Florida firearms group, Florida Carry. And this was actually not about anything I had said, but he had come onto one of my posts where I had expressed some distaste about someone insisting that I was actually just a man who liked to dress in drag. And, you know, he's entitled to his opinions. He could have easily kept his opinions to himself and I wouldn't have known, but he felt it necessary to come onto my page and state these things. And when I and other people took exception to it, he marched off in a huff. And while these are 2 different tactics, I think that these are really good exemplars of the ways in which the right and the left marginalize, tokenize, whatever eyes you want, the queer and especially the transgender community, because these days homosexuality is almost accepted. It's not the big scarlet letter that it was in the 80s. And trans people, we've taken that position, and I'm hoping that we will have the same success as the gay community, that we will become normalized, we will become accepted. But what I am seeing is that the left, when we go against the narrative, we are unpersoned. The right, their tactic seems to be, well, if you believe in whatever our cause is, firearms rights, you're okay so long as you align with our position, and we don't want you to speak up when we disagree with you. And it's a softer form of tokenism, but it does exist. One is, no, I refuse to debate you at all, go away. The other is, we expect you to fall in line. You're not falling in line. Why are you not doing that? Why are you standing up for yourself? This is a problem. I will give you 2 other examples, just generalized. Already, wow. There are people, usually on the right, who are offended by the word cisgender. And they say, well, why should we need a word? What's wrong with normal? Well, if they are normal, then that makes us, by default, abnormal. Now, abnormal in the sense of unusual, statistical outlier, okay, all that's fine. But abnormal has also the connotations of broken, wrong, deviant, perverted, all sorts of baggage. And so that's why I like cisgender and transgender. They are to be neutral words. Right? People on the far right really don't like that. The counterpoint on the far left, TERFs, T-E-R-F, trans exclusionary radical feminists. These are people who believe that trans women are actually making a mockery of womanhood, that we are doing the gender equivalent of blackface and all the baggage that that entails. And the short answer to that is no, of course not, because blackface was rooted in mockery. And if you folks knew the amount of time and effort and money I put into this, when I could just be lazy and it's like, nah, I don't feel like shaving today, I'll just put this on, it'll be fine. Yeah, I'm definitely not mocking. It is a sincere desire to be what I am. And I honestly don't see how people couldn't take that as anything other than a compliment, but people are like that. And so I bring this up just to illustrate, well, okay, it's talking beyond the choir. And I think I may be the first transgender person you have met. I've certainly been the first transgender trans woman for a lot of people. And there are questions people have, but they don't know what to say, or they deeply want to know, but they don't want to ask them because it would be rude, it would be awkward. And so I'm going to open up some questions so that in order to reach beyond the choir, I want to help you. But here are some bullet points. People say, well, what do I say to a transgender person? Well, say hi. I mean, if you're feeling sporty, you can say, nice dress. Or, hey, you want to go shooting? All of these are really good. I want to give you a pro tip here. Do not begin actually, don't put it anywhere, but definitely do not begin. I've seen this so many times. Do not begin a conversation with, I don't agree with your lifestyle, but. Okay, good. You know where I'm going with this. Because that, to a trans person or to a gay person or to whatever, is to them their equivalent of, well, I believe in the Second Amendment, but. And when you hear that, you immediately tune out. It was like Kevin said, it's like, nope, done with the conversation. If you start off a conversation with, I don't agree with your lifestyle, okay, well, why are you talking to me? Why are you bringing up a conversation about lifestyle? Or why are you bringing up lifestyle in a topic that isn't involved? I'm butchering this. You know where I'm going with it. You're bringing up outside subjects and trying to make it relevant when it has nothing to do with the subject at hand. And so with that said, I want to make myself available to you as the transplainer. If you have questions, yes, the transgender explainer, the transplainer, I'm like a fabulous superhero. And 1 minute, well, ask me a really involved question so I can talk. So if people have questions, hit me up, let's go. Kevin. Okay, choice. Okay, well, the lifestyle is a big topic as well, but and I'm not picking on you, but a lot of people bristle at that. It's, oh, you're choosing to do it, which also means you can choose not to do it. It's a phase. It's like my goth period, my trans period. It's okay. Gentlemen in the audience, you have seen the women in your life, your wives, your sisters, your girlfriends, complaining about how difficult it is to be a woman, the time it takes to look presentable, the amount of effort and money they put into things. Women, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so for me to say, no, I'm going to step beyond my privilege, and I'm going to deliberately make my life harder, means that my previous life, as easy and privileged as it's assumed to be, must really, really suck if this is comfortable and makes me feel natural. So it's a choice in as much as it's a choice between life and death. It's a choice between I can be a functional human being or I can be utterly miserable and not really living, just existing. Cool. Okay.
Because of you.
Yes.
Do you feel that you are more? Do you believe people of that are
Yes. Yes. The last time I checked, last time there was a stat on it, and it's not a recent stat, I think it's like 2014, they were saying that actually not just transgender, but queer people in general, between 1 in 5 and 1 in 4 were victims of violent crime. Okay, now that's a pretty big percentage, 20-25%. It gets bigger when you realize that the self-reported queer community is only about 3% in the United States population. Okay, so there are more Asian people in the United States than there are LGBTQ people. We're a small minority, but we are hugely affected by violent crime. And that's why I strongly believe in the, not just the right to keep and bear arms, but almost a duty. I mean, people want to kill me because I'm me? No, screw that. I'm going to make it really difficult because I have a right to live as I am so long as I don't harm you. I'm not harming you. So you want to come at me? Okay, you better come strapped. So I'm being shooed off the stage. I'm sure people have more questions. Hit me up. I'm very approachable. Don't worry about hurting my feelings. Go for accuracy. I will explain it to you. It's all good.
I love you, Erin. Thank you.